All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Move the Crowd September Tip of the Month. I'm Dina Balicki. I'm an engagement strategist with Move the Crowd. And we all have the pleasure of sharing the next 30 minutes with the wonderful Rha Goddess, entrepreneurial soul coach, CEO, and founder of Move the Crowd. So if you're here tonight, right, because you're passionate about turning your work into a vehicle for personal growth and creative expression, financial freedom, and real social impact, then you've come to the right place because that's what Move the Crowd is all about. We're an entrepreneurial training company for next generation movers and shakers like you. And so whether you're an established professional or dreaming of your next big move, maybe you're not quite sure exactly what it is or how to get there, that we're here to really help you harness your values, your creativity, and passion to change the world and to get paid doing it. And we really believe that your power lies in your uniqueness. And on that point of uniqueness is really where we're going to drill down tonight. So I'm going to hand it over to the lovely Rha Goddess, and she's going to give us the September tip of the month. And then we'll take some live questions. Please, if you're watching via Google+, there should be a space right there on the screen for you to ask questions. You can submit them throughout the entire time. We'll be taking them. We also got some questions earlier from folks who signed up, so we'll be asking some of those as well. And then at the end, we'll just sort of, we'll give you some upcoming event information and other ways that you can continue to work with the crowd. And with that, Miss Rha Goddess.
Woohoo, woohoo. Thank you so much, Miss Beloved Balicki. I so appreciate all of the incredible ways that you hold this space for our phenomenal community. And I just want to say, what's up, y'all? And I have so many shout outs to give, but I'm going to try to keep it, focused because I know we're here for the tip. But I really want to acknowledge you as the community for the incredible work you put in last month around our theme of the month, Advance. And, through the series of events that we engaged in and through all of the conversations, the emails, the G-chats, the Facebook huddles, literally there were hundreds and hundreds of you working through the theme of Advance and our beloved ode to Mr. Wallace D. Wattles and the Science of Getting Rich. So I just want to give some love to the Bay if you're in the house tonight, the Hub Oakland, whoop whoop, if you're in the house tonight, LA and General Assembly if you're in the house tonight. I want to give a big shout out to all of our amazing leaders who convened with us at the Roan Collins Hacienda as well, and of course the amazing Marlboro community and the phenomenal beloved graduate studies program and the newly graduated master's degree, woohoo, movers and shakers. So if you're all in the house tonight, I just want to say welcome from my heart to yours, and welcome to the community and welcome to the practice. So this particular month's theme comes from tons of conversations that we have with people as we've been engaging on the road, and this whole idea of, okay, I hear what's calling me, or okay, I know what it is that I'm passionate about, but I'm scared. Right? And fear is not a new conversation in the context of following your dreams, and we talk about fear all the time, but there are particular reasons why people get afraid. And one of the most common reasons why people get afraid is that they are not clear about what their unique contribution is. Or they're clear, but they don't know how to articulate it. Or they're clear and they know how to articulate it, but they don't believe that anybody's going to buy into it. Just like wave your hand if any one of those three sounds familiar. Dana, I love the fact that you're behind you, girlfriend, right now. So, in honor of this conversation about what each of us is uniquely here to bring to the planet, your tip for the month of September is represent. Represent. You know, it's so funny because, you know, I'm a hip hop baby, so, you know, of course, then I got to go here, right? So, you know,
I love when you do.
listen, I got to go here, right? Within the context of representing, you know, when we in the culture of hip hop talk about representing, it really is about honoring and bringing that which is uniquely yours to bring. And so when we, you know, consider one, the truth is that we all have a contribution to make that is uniquely ours, right? We also have the honor and privilege, when we get that, when we understand that, we have the honor and privilege to develop a profound relationship with what that is and to bring it like no one else will bring it. So there's two parts to this, right? One is bring that which is yours, uniquely yours to bring. And two is to bring it like nobody's business, right? Bring it like no one else. So let's start with the first part of that, right? So bring what is uniquely yours to bring. So I hear this all the time. You know, I'm in self-help and I want to be a coach and I want to empower people. I want to serve community, or I want to make a difference, right? And all of those things feel very vague, right? But you know in your heart and in your spirit, when you speak them, there's a way that your chest opens up because you know that you're touching something profound, even if you've not found the precise language with which to express it. Anybody hear what I'm saying? Sometimes it moves you to tears. Sometimes it moves you to anger, right? And we, as folks who are in the privileged position to listen to people's hopes, aspirations, and dreams all the time, we see this, right? And we experience this. And what we know is that you owe it to yourself to engage in a process that supports your ability in getting profoundly connected to what your unique difference is, and that supports your ability in being able to powerfully articulate and value what that contribution is. So if you were working with us in the context of Move the Crowd and my Academy cohort alumni, woo, woo, I know you're out there, right, listening in, and y'all know the deal. When you come into working with us, we take you through something called an L3, which is something you hear us talk about a lot in our lexicon. And the L3 stands for how you live, how you love, and how you lead. And it is the articulation, the aligned articulation of your vision, your mission, and your purpose. And when we start to talk about your unique contribution and what's available in making your unique contribution is being profoundly related to what you value, right? What is most important to you, what it is that you're here to bring as the combination of unique talents and gifts that you possess, right? And the passionate impulse that's driving you towards the impact, the desired impact and effect that you most want to have on the planet, right? Now, in L3, when you tap the heart of it, right, when you get to the essence of yourself, because for us, this is where it begins, y'all, right? This is the place where you then, this is the context from which you then get to live, move, and have your being. When you land your L3, and in this case, we give you an assignment that enables you to refine it as a declaration, right, as a way of speaking yourself, it's like a thumbprint, meaning there is no other L3 like your L3, right? There are no two L3s that are the same. And what it enables you to do is have access to what that combination and integration of values, talents, and desired impacts gives you as a place from which you get to express yourself in the world, right? When we teach USP, and USP is a common marketing and branding term. It stands for unique selling proposition. It is how you answer the question of how you're going to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. We begin with your L3. And it's from understanding how you live, love, and lead in the world that you get to create what Rha Reeves called, that's the godfather of USP, you all coined the term in the 1960s, Rha Reeves, you get to articulate what he calls the offering that is most beneficial, distinct, and compelling. So when you're thinking about what is uniquely yours to bring, you're not just thinking about it within the context of your own ego and like what gives you bragging rights, but you're actually thinking about it in the context of how it empowers you to make the difference that you want to make in the world, and who it is that you most want to engage and affect within the context of that difference. So representing this month is going to be about developing a profound relationship to that which is uniquely yours to bring. It is going to be about the practice of bringing it, and most importantly, bringing it like no one else. So I'm going to pause here, Dana, just to see if there are some questions that you all have about this idea of unique selling proposition, or this idea of what it is that you are uniquely here to bring, and where you're struggling, or where you want to kind of lean deeper into the conversation. Oh, you're going to have to chat me, Dana. I don't know what just happened there, but if you could chat me, that would be great. I know, I can't know.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. That was because I was on mute to keep my key tapping at a minimum for you all, just as I tweet out little bits of what Rha's been sharing. So what I was saying is that I was, taking notes here, which I often find myself doing in these. And I actually have a question that I'd love to pose, and we got another one that, we got a couple that came in through, we got two, I think, that came in through email, and I'll ask those. But just from where you ended, I'm going to ask mine first, and maybe I'm just taking the privilege of being the host here, co-hosting with you. But what if you have, what if you have a lot of gifts and talents, and you're trying to sort through, like, well, what is uniquely mine, right? Because there are a lot of coaches out there, there are a lot of healers out there, there are a lot of, social media marketers out there. There are a lot of different, things that I know for me personally, I can sort of fit into various worlds, right? I feel like I've found found some of my unique gifts and talents, but I've definitely been in the position, and I know I'm not alone, where I have a lot of different things that I do well, and I think that's sort of, where, our generation is at. We have a lot of gifts and talents. We've tried a lot of different things. So how do we know which ones to pick and go with?
And how do you hone in? That's what I really hear too, is how do you hone in, right? So within the context of the L3, and particularly the area that we work on, which relates to your unique talents and gifts, is about the combination, right? So there is uniqueness in the combination, right? So for example, you might say, Dana, which is true about you, I'm a phenomenal listener, right? And I would say to you, absolutely, that is a talent and a gift. That there are many of us who are not able to listen phenomenally well, right? Holla if you hear me, right? But you'd say, okay, but I'm not the only person on the planet who is a phenomenal listener. I'd say, okay, I get that, right? But I'm also a great storyteller, right? So you go, okay, what is it uniquely about the way that you tell stories that has you say that this is a gift, right? Or what is it about the way that you listen that has you acknowledge and articulate the fact that this is a gift, right? So there are ways that we delve deeper into understanding even what qualities you choose to select, right? The other things I would say is that there are people who are good at a lot of things, but they don't love to do a lot of things. Hello? So the other place you want to be looking is at what are the things that give you the most joy to bring, that are part of your unique talents and gifts, right? And your unique combination of talents and gifts. And this is a really important conversation, because what some of us have decided is that there are certain talents and gifts that will get us paid, and other talents and gifts that will not. And so sometimes we're beholden to cultivating talents and gifts that don't necessarily make us happy because we feel like this is the only way we can earn a living. Okay, somebody raise your hand if any of that is resonating, right? So you might be a phenomenal copywriter, for example, but what you really want to be doing is writing screenplays. But what you've been conditioned to believe is that copywriting is the only way that you can make money, and that the screenplay writing is your pipe dream. And so you'll spend much more time honing and getting really phenomenal at copywriting and not honing and getting really phenomenal at screenwriting, which is the true passion. You hear what I'm saying? And so we make choices about which gifts also sometimes we prioritize based upon what we think is our ability to eat or not eat with those gifts. So, you know, in this work around how do you get in touch with what you most want to put forward, you're really listening for, one, what are the things that I'm most passionate about? What are the things that I feel come so easily to me? What are the things that I know make a profound difference or have a profound impact on whoever I'm engaging, right? And then third, like, where do I really want to put my emphasis now? And what's the combination of those 2 or 3 things that I really believe differentiate me? Now, some of you are not going to be able to figure this out just talking to yourself. So I also want to name that, right? Because I hear some people going, but how, Rob, but how, right? How do I get there? I do want to invite you to interview people who are very close to you. What are some of the things that they love about you? What are some of the reasons why they want to continue to engage you? And I'm going to say your favorite clients, the people who love you, right? So those in your environment who can also be that mirror for you, right? That you have the opportunity to work with them as well to get that input, that feedback. And I want to name the opportunity to bring rigor here, Dana, because when we struggle to articulate what it is, we have a tendency to give up. Anybody hear what I'm saying? So even in our L3 cultivation process or our USP cultivation process, right, when we're working with entrepreneurs within the context of the academy, they'll work 3 months to get an L3 properly articulated. They'll work 6 months to get an L3 properly articulated.
I think I was in the 6-month range myself. I'm an academy alumni.
Well, once you speak it, and it really resonates in like your bones, it will move you to tears because you are really beginning to see the truth of who you are, who you really are. And the articulation of the L3 is the opportunity for you to speak your truth about who you are and the essence of who you are from a liberated place. So you're not taking on somebody else's projected images or plans or decisions of who you are, but you really are articulating and speaking yourself in the purest possible sense. And that takes commitment to dig through all those layers and land upon an articulation that genuinely feels like your words, that genuinely feels like it touches the essence of who you are. Right? And that's step 1 of the work this month, right? Is to get profoundly related to what that is. So there are some clues about how to do that.
Let's see if we've got any questions coming in. Let's see. We've got Q&A turned on. People, anyone watching now can, feel free to submit any questions, whether it's about a particular piece of the curriculum, as Ra's been talking about it, the L3, the USP.
I'm always so shocked, Dana, at how shy people get here because, we get all the emails after like, oh, I was on and I was listening and amen and here's my question.
Oh, yeah.
And
or in Twitter, right, we get like questions after the fact or comments on the Facebook post. Right, so we're here and we're ready.
To dive in because, like I said, I know that this is a big one. I talk to you all every day, so I know that this is a big one. and I want to make sure that you really understand it so that you know kind of how you're going to begin working with it this month. And I think that that's some of the questions, right? One is, what is it that you are uniquely here to bring, right? What is it that is yours, that is uniquely yours to bring, right? And then two is, how do you value it? Do you value it, right? I was just in a conversation earlier today with an entrepreneur, and and we were walking through all of the things that this person was contributing, right, within the context of working with a client. And they had not really taken the time to take stock of all of the ways that they have been contributing. So, when we have those feelings sometimes of not being fully seen or not being fully heard or not being fully appreciated, often I find that there is something that isn't delineated and isn't articulated and isn't represented in the expression in a way that enables the opportunity for acknowledgement in the contribution, right? And I'm talking to everybody, but I want to say that I'm really talking to my women friend. All of those things that we do sometimes, and then we kind of show up like frustrated and unappreciated, right? So this is that phenomenal opportunity to really create the time and the space and to honor yourself in looking at not only what you bring, but how are you valuing what it is that you uniquely bring, and how are you inviting other people to value what you uniquely bring and what you uniquely have to offer.
Yeah, so Rha, I'd love to, there was, and I feel like you've sort of spoken to it throughout the time, which is why I haven't inserted it a little bit earlier, which was really the process of like, let me just look at it exactly. But the essence of it, this came in from Kim, was really about like, yes, I'd love to make it sort of bright and bold and big in lights, what it is that like makes me different. But like the problem more has been, the issue has been about like, I'm paraphrasing here, but that she's feeling it and understanding, like on more of like an emotional like feeling level, like what she's here to do, but how to actually articulate it, right? So if you could maybe talk a little bit about like what are the actual steps, right? I know that you broke down the L3 and the USP, but just again for maybe a little bit more specific, like how someone moves from the feeling stage to the like, this is what I do unabashedly.
Right. So, ways to access this conversation of the qualities or the essences that you carry in the context of your gifts, right? Great listener, right? Strategic thinker, right? Profound storyteller, right? Brilliant weaver, right? Experienced weaver, deep listener, right? These are all qualities that we look at, brilliant communicator, right? So I'm giving you some sort of, line items, right, that can begin to jog your thinking. But the biggest thing I'm going to say to you is to really take the time and the space to unpack it, right? Because it's again, what happens is the language gets very broad. So she's like, I see it, I feel it, I know. But then if I were to drill down and ask you, Kim, well, what is it that you think it particularly is? What would you say? Or what is it that you think people would say about you if they were to talk about your gifts? What were the specific things, right? And how are they related to what it is that you want to offer into the marketplace, right? And I'm speaking to my intrapreneurs as much as I am to my entrepreneurs. Because even if you're working in an organization or a company, you are still making a contribution. Amen? Y'all hear what I'm saying, right? So you're not sort of, left out of this conversation by any stretch of the imagination. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say to you as an entrepreneur, it's even more important that you understand what your value is and what are the specific and unique ways that you contribute to the company or to the organization that are game-changing. Critical. So I'm going to say to you, Kim, to delineate. As you look at what your offering is and the nature of your offering, what are the specific things that you do in order to deliver on your offering, right? And so if it's a service, I want you to go step by step and really discern what it is that you're delivering, and then what makes that deliverance or that experience so powerful for the person who's receiving it, right? If it's a product, you want to look at the product features and benefits, and what is it that makes that product so powerful or so impactful, right? And what we know in the context of marketing and branding is that people are not buying our products. Anybody hear what I'm saying? They're buying the results, right? So it's very similar in a service as it is in a product. People are buying the absolute result of what that experience or that product engagement gives them. So what are the results you've been having? That's another place that you can look. What are the results that you've been having as you've been engaging with people, right? And again, I'm going to say to you, drill down and get it specific, right? A lot of what I hear sometimes, Dana, is, oh, people go through such incredible transformation. Okay, so what does that mean? People triple their income when they work with me. Oh, there's one, right? People are able to be more confident in their ability to present themselves, right, when they speak with me, right? So all of these things are really important for you to take the time to unpack. And if you, again, can't unpack them by yourself, you want to be in communication with your clients or customers, or you want to be in communication with your beloveds who can help you unpack and bring greater specificity to what it is. And you want to stay in there, in the speaking, until it gets specific. And they should be asking you questions. What do you mean by that? Well, what do you mean by that? Well, what do you mean by that? Right? So that you're using the prompt to delve deeper into your own clarity.
We actually just got an update, I think, here from Kimberly, from Kim, right? So that was the question that I was paraphrasing and possibly incorrectly, so we'll see. She says, I know that what I'm here to do is actually unique, mixing spirituality and sustainability. But because it is so unique, I'm actually having a hard time figuring out how to have people understand what I'm doing, because I can't just say nutritionist, etc.
Well, but I would ask her to unpack that. What do you mean by mixing spirituality and sustainability? What are you specifically doing within the context of spirituality and within the context of sustainability, right? Because those are super broad themes, concepts, and industries unto themselves. So I would invite you, Kimberly, to really narrow that down. What does that specifically look like?
Well, we'll see if we can, if Kimberly writes back in the next, minute or two.
Right.
All right. But those are some good questions to think on.
When you're speaking something new, what I do understand is, right, is that the language piece is hard, right? And how do you draw references, right, that people can understand? But I think it begins with being very specific. Right, spirituality and sustainability. I work at the intersection of spirituality and sustainability is not specific enough. That's way, way broad. So how do we narrow it down? How do we bring it in?
Well, Rha, maybe you could talk a bit about the opportunity of the mastermind. Right, so we've got an event coming up at the end of the month, right? It's one of our favorite times of the year. Yes. 2 times a year. We bring our brain trust together, which is our coaches cohort, right? You, Rha, we bring in other experts who are just in the Move the Crowd, cipher, as well as our academy members and alumni and other juicy folks who are, cultural creatives, social entrepreneurs, who are at various levels of their business. And we all get together and we do a day-long intensive training, and our theme for this training is around represent. And so I see that Kim just wrote back, okay, good point. So Kim, if you're Kim, if you're 2 things for you, Kim, and you need to not alone out there,
Kim, so we can do this work, my sister. You need to come to the mastermind so we can do this work, right? Because again, I understand that sometimes it's difficult to do this alone, right? you really need those prompts. You need those pushes, those challenges back that support you in being able to drill down into the specificity of what it is, right? So Dana, in terms of what folks can expect, because I hear that this is where you're going, right? What can folks expect in our time on Saturday, September 27th, which is our next live upcoming mastermind in New York City? And yes, by the way, those of you out there, people do come from all over the country and Canada to hang out with us and spend the day working inside of their respective projects, initiatives, and ventures. And so what you can expect on the 27th is that we are going deeper into this theme by specifically looking at how are you speaking to the people that you most want to engage. In other words, how do you build an audience that really represents your folks, meaning the folks you most want to be engaging within the context of what it is that you have to offer and bring. And we're also going to be looking at how do you cultivate your ideal client, and how do you speak to your ideal client in a way that feels completely authentic to who you are, right? Because I also know that that's some of the other reasons why people struggle. They get the brandy language, they get the gimmicky language, and then they try it on, and it's not grounded or rooted in the essence of who they really are, so they struggle with it. And because they struggle with it, they don't come across as confident, and because they don't come across as confident, they're not able to generate the interest. Anybody raise your hand if I'm speaking to you. And particularly when we move into an online setting, right? So for those of you who are really phenomenal in person but are struggling online, how does the authenticity of who you are translate in a virtual context? And so we're going to spend some time talking about that. We've got the incredible Josh Nauer, who is the president and CEO of Rha, who is going to be coming in to engage us. And Josh is an internet pioneer. He built and to unbelievable proportions one of the first online green businesses, built a phenomenal community of hundreds of thousands of folks around that, and sold that business, and is now supporting major corporations in upping their engagement game and understanding, what are the things that they're doing in an engagement context that are effective or not effective, right, with their respective audiences. And so Josh is going to be with us in the morning. And then, of course, our phenomenal mastermind session where our entrepreneurs are going to present around the opportunities or challenges in their business and get the best wisdom of the collective brain trust. And then in the afternoon, we're going to be in breakout sessions, and we're going deep, depending upon where you are, what aspect of representing. So for some of you, it is this conversation, Kim, right, of how do I get clear about how I'm articulating and speaking myself and speaking my unique selling proposition in a way that is enabling me to attract the kinds of opportunities and individuals I want to be attracting, right? And then on the other side of the equation, it's like, okay, I got my speaking straight, but I can't find my tribe, and I need to, in order to realize my profitability, I need to make sure that my unique offering is connecting with that ideal client so that profitability can be present for me. And what's my model for how I'm building and delivering and offering, right, what I'm here to bring to the planet, and how am I monetizing on that, right? So there's going to be like our, the I need to figure out how to best speak who I am, and I got the speaking down, now I need to get the money. I need to get the clients so I can get the money, right, associated with being able to speak my unique brand in a compelling way. So we invite you into the day with us on September 27th. That is what it's going to be about. And again, your practice for this month, right? 3 parts. 1, get profoundly related to that which is uniquely yours to bring, right? What you're here to bring that nobody else is here but you to bring, right? Get profoundly connected and related to that, right? 2 is to bring it like nobody else can bring it, right? And that's about excellence. That's about upping and bringing your A game, right? And giving value. And 3 is about recognizing and understanding the value of your unique contribution, right? And what's available when you bring your best and when you engage clients in a context that delivers value. Okay, you all, I know we're going to be talking about this over the course of the rest of the month, but I wanted to set the context for you. And then my next homework assignment is, please, next month, do not be so shy. Send in questions early. Get to Dana. Holler at your girl early so you can think about, what you may want to ask in you know, the questions that you raise. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you all.
So one last thing. I know we're a little bit over time.
Okay.
But one thing Kim says that she did ask if it was going to be if the mastermind was going to be virtual, and so we're not actually there yet. It is an in-person event. But what you can do is you know, our academy is currently open for registration. I'm an alumni. You can visit our website at movethecrowd.me, and right from there you'll be taken into the you know, to our academy page where you can read testimonials and look at background of our alumni, look at our coaches, sort of understand, like, wait, what stage of entrepreneur am I? Like, how can this support me? And then you can sign up for your free strategic session with one of our coaches. So, Kimberly, that might be a great solution for you, since it doesn't sound like when you said, you know, can't fly over there this time, so it sounds like you're far away. But the free strategic session with one of our coaches is an excellent way to do that. And then we are, you know, over on other coasts throughout the year with our house parties and other live events. So y'all just, you know, stay tuned to the crowd, and you know, please check out also. There's a new feature on Google Plus Hangouts that we're just using, which is called the Showcase. And so you should be able to see various links that I've been posting throughout the time. So I did post one of, you know, that was linked for our September tip, and you can go there. There's a cute little picture of Rha there, and you can get your free USP download from us and use that worksheet, right? Talk about homework. It's a really good one. There's also a link there for our company's L3, right? Every individual and every company has an L3, and so there's ours, and you can get some inspiration. There's information there, obviously, about the Fall Mastermind, and then the fourth one there is a link to the Academy, and that will take you right into, like I said, all of the FAQs, and then the opportunity for you to sign up for your free consult. So all of that should be there, and if you've signed up through the September Tip of the Month event, which I think most of you have, then you'll get a follow-up email with all this information.
Lovely, Dana. Thank you. And thank you for reiterating all of the goodies. Again, our commitment in this time is really to give you value. I'm also going to ask Dana that you add the L3 worksheet, because I think that 1-2 punch, right, where they start with the L3 and then they move to the USP, would be a great opportunity for them to sort of deepen and engage this work. And there are prompting questions in both of those worksheets to help you all drill down, right? And then the last thing I will say about the Academy, the opportunity of, you know, if you can't make it to September, by all means, sign up for a consultation if you're interested in learning more about the work. The other thing I do want to say about this opportunity of the Academy is I want to invite you not to struggle. If you know that you've been wrestling with really trying to get clear about this, and if you know that you've really taken it as far as you can on your own, I want to invite you to consider the opportunity of the Academy, because what you will get within that work is structured, accountable support. So Kim and others, right? Because I'm talking to Kim, but I'm really talking to all of us, right? And Kim, I thank you so much for being willing to engage in this way, right? But let's get that clear, girlfriend. Let's not hang out in the vagueness. Like, let's get that clear so that you can be about the business of making your offering and identifying and engaging your ideal clients and building the kind of economic sustainability that's going to support you and enable you to really live your dream. And so, you know, if anyone else knows that, wow, this is not clear for me, or I need support, or I've been struggling with this, I want to invite you to click on the page, learn more about the Academy opportunity. I want to invite you to sign up for a strategy session if it calls to you, and let's get the support you need so that you can represent. Because that is your goal this month, is to represent, and to represent fully. All right, you all, we love you. We thank you so much for taking the time tonight. We hope that this theme is going to find resonance and relevance in your world, and we can't wait to hear from you. And for those of you who are going to be joining us on September 27th, cannot wait to see you at the Mastermind. And then for those of you who we'll see next month, big love. Have a stupendous September, and we will see you in October. Peace.
Bye, y'all.